What's up, everybody? Well, here we are entering the peak season for the housing market in the spring of 2023, and it's not looking good. Here in the DC area, we sell approximately 60 to 65% of all the homes for the year during the spring market between the middle of March and the end of June. And I think it's like that for most parts of our country. So now that we're here, what is the forecast? So today we're going to take a look at an article from Realtor.com titled, "Is this spring the make or break moment for 2023's housing market?" A brutally honest look ahead for buyers and sellers to see what they are saying. And of course, I'll chime in as well to tell you what I'm seeing in real time here in the DC area. So let's just dive right in. As we all know, the housing market has been going down for the past 6 to 8 months. Our affordability crisis was in full alert as interest rates rose and home prices just didn't fall fast enough. Sellers halted and buyers stalled. New listings dropped dramatically and home sales got minimized. But then we did have a little bump in the market due to a slight reduction in interest rates at the beginning of the year. Mortgage rates dipped into the fives and buyer activity increased. Hope seemed to be on the horizon, but that, my friend, is old news. Interest rates are on the rise again, and if it's any indication by the news from the Fed Reserve, they're going to keep on rising. This is going to be a really bumpy road into the spring market, said Lisa Sturtevant, chief economist of Bright MLS, the multiple listing service that covers the Mid-Atlantic region. Mortgage rates are incredibly important, but the availability of homes for sale is going to be the main constraint. According to a CNN report on March 8th, the U.S. housing market is short 6.5 million homes. In 2022, the United States saw the highest level of yearly household formations in the last decade, with 2.06 million new households outpacing housing starts. This widened the gap between total housing starts and housing formations from 1.8 million housing units between 2012 and 2021 to 2.3 million units at the end of 2022. The gap between single-family housing starts and household formations grew from 5.5 million at the end of 2021 to 6.5 million at the end of 2022 as household formations rose and single-family home construction dropped. Spring is likely to mark a turning point, said Robert Dietz, chief economist of the National Association of Home Builders. You're at the low, but you can start to see a better days ahead. And yes, the number of homes for sale was up 67.8% year over year in February, according to Realtor.com data. But if you look more closely, this does not mean that new listings are coming on the market. It just means that homes are sitting on the market longer, therefore increasing the active inventory. According to the Realtor.com article, most of these homes have been sitting on the market for what may seem like an eternity, unable to attract buyers because they're fixer-uppers, dated, overpriced, remotely located, or utterly lacking curb appeal. And I can tell you that is 100% true here in the DC area where I work. Homes in Montgomery County, Maryland that show well and are priced appropriately are still going very fast in multiple offers with no contingencies, way over asking. Even right now in the spring of 2023, desirable areas, good school districts, and good quality homes are still going to sell well and still face bidding wars, says Allie Wolf, chief economist at the building consultancy Zonda. But that's not going to be the norm. So the big question is, what will be the norm in today's housing market? Well, buyers can expect a shortage of homes that are move-in condition and are priced right. I mean, a lot of would-be sellers simply don't want to trade in their 3% or lower interest rate if they refinanced in the last couple years to go then and buy something with a 6 or 7 or higher interest rate. And speaking of rates, mortgage rates are anticipated to bounce around in the mid-6 to 7% range. Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve Chair, made it clear on Tuesday that the central bank is prepared to react to recent signs of economic strength by raising interest rates higher than previously expected. And if incoming data remains hot, potentially returning to a quicker pace of rate increases. And with so little homes for sale, even if prices drop in certain markets, they will still most likely remain above pre-pandemic levels, which brings us back to right where we started, an unsustainable affordability crisis. Spring season, which is critical for the rest of the year, will be subpar, says Realtor.com senior economist George Ritu. Mortgage rates will continue to define the housing market, and homeowners don't want to settle for anything less than their neighbors' big wins up till this time last year. But at some point, if they want or need to sell, they're going to have to accept this new reality. Once the psychological adjustment completes, sellers will much more likely come to grips with the fact that the market is different, says Ratu. But once again, and I think it's worth repeating, where I am in the DC area, and I know in other parts of the country because I do read your comments, good houses are still selling in multiple offers and are going above asking. Sellers are able to consider more than one offer, said Bright MLS's Sertivant. That is a position that puts sellers still in the driver's seat. And don't expect builders to save the day. Instead of ramping up construction to fill the inventory need, builders are actually pulling back. Higher interest rates have made it more expensive for them to put up new homes and have decimated the number of potential buyers who can afford new construction. They're expected to put up even fewer homes this year, which will only worsen the nation's housing shortage. So the big question on the minds of buyers and sellers is, which direction will home prices go next? Prices went up nearly 40% in a lot of markets during the pandemic housing boom because there wasn't enough houses and we had super low interest rates, which gave buyers a lot more purchasing power. But higher rates have changed everything. Ratu, Realtor.com, believes that home prices will flatten or dip a little to make up for the higher mortgage rate, and that should bring in more buyers in the summer and fall. The fact that a large share of buyers simply cannot afford mortgage payments on homes at the current price means that home prices have to adjust, he says. But others believe that the lack of inventory will keep prices high. But as I always say, real estate is very localized. Places like Austin and Phoenix and Boise that exploded during the boom may see bigger price declines than where I am, for example. Our prices definitely went up, and we have been experiencing the correction over the past 6 to 8 months. But until I see a large influx of desirable homes come on the market, I think prices here in Montgomery County, Maryland will still stay very competitive. It's going to be a tough market for buyers and sellers, says Mark Zandi, chief economist at Moody's Analytics. The best advice that I can give you if you are thinking about selling your home is make sure it looks good and don't price it where the highest comp sold at the height of the pandemic boom. Buyers are not going to buy into greedy sellers. They're already frustrated and they won't do it. You'll end up reducing your price and chasing the markets. Price your home under the highest comp. If it's meant to go higher, then buyers will bid it up. If you are located in Maryland, DC, or Northern Virginia, and you want to talk more about this, just send us an email. We'll set up a Zoom. We'll talk all about what's happening right now in the housing market. And if you want us to connect you with an experienced realtor in a different market, we can do that too. It is a tricky mixed market, and it is more important than ever to work with an experienced realtor that can help you navigate it successfully. I hope you got some value out of today's video. It's a lot of work, but I really think it's important to get you the most up-to-date information on the housing market so you can make the best decisions for you and your family. And if you want to see a different perspective, check out this video about Fannie Mae. They have very strong opinions about the future of the housing market. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!